Hi everyone, let's start with a new skill. Okay, so take a look at this picture. Imagine that you're walking into a certain place. What's the first feeling that you might have? What's the first feeling created in you? Most probably, it has a certain atmosphere. While looking at this picture, maybe it's an atmosphere or it's a mood of terror, it's a mood of isolation, desolation. Look at this picture. It has an impact on you. You can't avoid the feeling forced on you. It's also a feeling of gloom, feeling of isolation. Here maybe it's horror, terror. If I look at this picture, maybe it's a combination of optimism and pessimism. Well, let's compare things. If I start reading a certain piece of writing, most probably it will create a certain mood in me. It makes me feel in a certain way. I can't avoid that feeling forced on me while reading stories, while reading essays. This is what we call the mood. The mood is the overall feelings or emotions that are created in the reader. We can compare it to the atmosphere. Atmosphere is mainly describing the place, the setting. Mood is describing the whole story. How can I know the mood? How is it possible for me while reading a story or while reading any piece of writing to know the mood? I can't see the reader. He's not in front of me. He's not, the writer. He's not trying to create that mood in front of me. So the piece of writing is the evidence through the word choice, the imagery he's creating, addressing the senses, and the setting. So I have to be careful for every single detail created in the writing. What are the possible moods? Okay, pessimism, optimism, they are opposite terms. Happiness, gladness, sadness, hopefulness, hopelessness, doubt, worry, gloom, melancholy, sorrow, romanticism, desolation, isolation, loneliness, tranquility, and much more. What's common among among all of these moods is they are all nouns. Romanticism. While answering the question of mood, we have to write nouns only. We're not allowed to use an adjective. This is the only choice that I'm supposed to write. If you write an adjective, you lose the whole grade. Let's take a look at the sample questions that they might be presented in the official exams. So what's the dominant? Dominate. It's dominant in the mood in paragraph 5. Only one dominant here. How can I get it? Through the setting, the word choice, the details presented, through the description, the imagery, addressing our senses. Describe the atmosphere the writer creates in the selection. When we say the atmosphere, we mean the mood. What's the mood of the writer in paragraph 2? How does it shift? Here we have to mention in paragraph 2 and 7 and make a comparison. Most probably they are opposite. We have a shift, we have a change. The same in number 4. So let's start with the practice. Question 1. Okay. Okay, so that's a question from the official exams. You know, this is the only question about the mood in the official exam, but who knows, or they might get it in any official exam, so be ready. 2016. Okay, number 1. What two different nouns best reflect the mood in paragraph 1 the mood evokes in the readers? Justify. And we have 1 grade. So we have to start reading paragraph 1. Take a look at paragraph 1. Read it. Okay, a man hopped into his bicycle and began riding from a village in Cameroon toward the village of Nice. And he noticed the antelope lying dead next to the road. A short distance later, he noticed 2 dead rats, a dead dog. Soon the man came upon a group of huts. He decided to check if anyone there knew what had happened to the animals. Oh, wait. First, we're talking about dead bodies. We're talking about 2 dead rats. We're talking about... It seems there is a disaster there. Soon the man came upon a group of huts to check if anyone there, but what had happened to the animals. As he walked up into the huts, he was shocked to see dead bodies everywhere. So what's the first feeling that you might have if you see dead bodies everywhere? They are addressing our senses also. We can see them. We can because of seeing them, we can feel that sense of horror, that sense of sadness, depression. He did not find a single person still alive in the hut. That's also depressing. The man threw down his bicycle and ran all the way back to him. So first, we have that feeling of depression, of horror, of sadness. But also we have a sense of doubt. We're not sure what happened. They didn't mention anything to give us any clue towards the reason for all this disaster. So let's take a look at the answer key and see how they are going to grade us. So the mood that dominates paragraph 1 is that of horror and panic and eagerness and curiosity. Okay, how did we know that? So we get part of the grade, half of the grade for answering the question, but we have here, we need 2 nouns. Look, when they ask you about the tone and the mood, give 2 answers, give 2 words. So I give 2 and I have to justify both of them. Mainly, guys, the justification is so important, so never write an answer without justification. How do I justify? I get if I have any description for the setting, if I have words that are describing or showing the mood that I'm talking about or that I've chosen, and if we have any images. So here we have the images of dead bodies everywhere. They are addressing the scene. We can see them. And the repetition of the word dead. So you see, images, word choice, cause a mood of horror. Since no single clue was mentioned in the paragraph, a sense of eagerness and curiosity is provoked regarding. So here they justified the second choice. So each word or each mood created should be justified. If you don't justify it, guys, you might not get the grade. And how do I justify it? I justify it simply by giving the images created, the word choice, and the setting if I have a setting. Let's go to the second question. Describe the atmosphere which the writer creates in the below paragraph. Guys, when you're asked about the atmosphere, it's the same as if you're asked about the mood. Answer using noun, answer depending on the images, the setting, and the word choice. Read it, take a look at it. Guys, pay attention to the images, pay attention to the word choice, anything addressing our sight, hearing. He had been dead for 3 days. He was most horrifying, gruesome gestures. Okay. We have that body. So what's the mood created? What's the feeling that you have while reading this paragraph? That's it. Here they put 3 nouns. If you put only 2, that will be enough. Okay? So describing the atmosphere which the author creates to describe the feeling of the parents who mourned the death of their addicted son. You have the same feeling. It's not only for the parents, it's also for you. It's the feeling created in each one of us. At the beginning, George's parents were worried about their missing son until they knew of the most horrifying and appalling truth, which filled their hearts with misery, melancholy, and frustration. So if you put at the beginning melancholy instead of grief and worry, it's also correct. Now it's your turn. Take a look at the following paragraph, read it, underline dull, dark, soundless, underline any image that you have. anything addressing your sight, your hearing, the smelling, addressing any of the senses. Underline any detail that you feel that it's creating a certain feeling in you. Underline anything related to the setting, and then based on the following words, based on the following three elements, imagery, word choice, and setting, you can answer the mood or the atmosphere created in you. Take your time, answer the following question, and thank you.